Quite a story, you want me to tell you? What Googa Mooga is?
Yes.
I had to name my production company, the television show and digital movies, and there was a DJ in New York, Jocko Henderson, and he did commercials and he played R&B and very popular, and I liked to listen to him, and I heard him do commercials, and he'd say, he used the phrase Googa Mooga. And he said, the sulfate is great. He could advertise this a product. I couldn't. Sulfate, it's great, Googa Mooga. So I finally met him in Harlem one night after a concert. I said, what is Googa Mooga? It's not Googa Mooga, it's Googa Mooga. And I was so glad to know that because I didn't have to pay him a royalty for that. I had named my production company, and I got such a big kick out of it when, for instance, in Technicolor, movies like even State Fair, I think, where I was, associate producer, I loved in all the gold, gilt, and everything, these letters and all the fancy thing, a Googa Mooga production. And it was supposed to be Googa Mooga production. And so I got such a kick out of this because I forgot that this film was a Googa Mooga production.
So the main thing I have to ask, really, and bear with me for a moment here, Barbara. How did this all come about? Because this is, it's so unexpected to see you playing such a louse in a movie. Not that there
I
isn't
didn't
any...
like me myself watching this film.
I did.
And this beautiful girl, look at her, she was born beautiful.
Oh my goodness. No, and I mean this sincerely. It's weird. Sometimes you watch a movie and you say, nope, that doesn't work. That casting does not work. I do not believe those two together as a married couple. You guys actually, it's like, why weren't they together?
Gosh, I could surely, that was not a problem for me.
Thank you.
To believe that I could be married to this lady. And of course, Shirley, my wife Shirley, was on set a lot. No, she wasn't. She trusted us. But no,
That was the end of the movie.
it was easy to feel romantic, but the trouble in the film is it was not till the very end. There was a kiss in the beginning, and that was the real kiss, a real movie kiss. But it wasn't until the end of the film that I acted like a husband to her, and I was a louse. And I was getting to where I didn't like myself watching the movie, because I was, I didn't like to play a rat.
But you were, leads to another question. Did you like smoking the cigars or not?
Yeah. I didn't like the fact I had to have it in my mouth all the time, have to speak with it in my mouth and also coming up in my eyes. I think there was a moment there where I was supposed to be getting teary. Well, I was, from the cigar in my mouth.
Well, there was actually really good crying. You both did really good crying in this movie. I was impressed.
Where I cried, that I unexpectedly cried more than you know, singing the song. And I found myself tearing up because I understood why I was singing that song. And so maybe I should have forget it. I was actually crying about it.
And there's a really good scene that you play with Jack Klugman, where the tears are kind of unexpected. You don't really even notice them at first. It's you turn your head a certain way and you can see this little trail of tears that it's only obvious when you wipe them away. And it was very, very effective. Now, Barbara, when you read this script, what did you think? Because you're basically keyed up from the beginning. You have the one great scene in the dressing room with Pat, and then you're basically hysterical kind of for the rest of it.
Oh, yeah. But at the time, excuse me, I was under contract to Fox. So I did like the script, but I had no choice. I was there. You were stuck with me.
Yeah. And I, looking at it now, I had not seen it ever since we did it. So it's all pretty much new to me, but I was impressed with our relationship, the truth in true to the script, to be concerned, caring about each other, and yet it not being maudlin, not being overdone. It was growing. My characters was coming to understand his wife and appreciate her, and it was showing. And you did a great job of staying married to me. I was such a mouse.
But there was the baby.
Oh, the baby.
Now I want to ask you guys this. Did you think, I suspected when I watched this the first time, that there was a little something going on there with Lisa and Bake? I kind of sensed there was a little something going on there with Lisa and Bake in the script. When you come out of the concert and you sit with him, I just kind of said, I wonder. I mean, it's one of these scripts where everybody has to be a suspect. They're suspected of something.
I don't know, maybe
Not
there
me.
was something going on.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't mention it. Between the
I was
happy
too
company.
concerned to see it, to feel it.
Did you, I mean, it's remarkable watching this movie, how many people that appear in this film went on to colossal success on television, right? I mean, where was everybody at in their careers? I want to say, there were people, Jack Klugman's in the Jesse White, he'd been making pictures for years. Stephen
And there
Harris
was a genie in
played,
the bottle, I think, was going to come along sometime.
yes.
A
we
genie
all-
in a bottle?
And how long after, this was 1963, so how long after this did Genie come along?
After Fox closed down. This was, I think, one of the last movies they did. So 1965 was Genie.
Okay, so right around the corner.
Yeah.
And we had a brief appearance from John Banner. I saw in the beginning of the film, Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes has a brief appearance in the film, and Harold Gould is in this film, and Steve Forrest, of course, who does arrogant really
He
well.
really does, yeah. And people know who Steve is, don't they?
I believe most of this crowd would know that Steve Forrest is Dana Andrews' brother,
Yeah.
which I think is what you're getting
Yeah,
at
right,
there.
the drama runs in the family.
Yeah, exactly. We've shown many a Dana Andrews film in our city. So tell me about, how did Rod Serling, do you have any idea how Rod Serling came to write the screenplay for this?
Boy, I don't, and I would love to know what in the world was in his mind to cast me in this film. I mean, I was Mr. Nice Guy, and in fact, goody two shoes. I mean, they made jokes about me. When I was on Andy Williams' show, Phil Harris. This was not in the script, and in the show it was live. And he says, "Come on, Boone, you level with it. You drink, don't you?" And I said, "No." I knew he meant alcohol. He said, "You don't drink nothing, never." And I said, "No." And he said to Andy Williams, "Can you imagine waking up in the morning and knowing that's as good as you're going to feel all day?" And then, that was funny enough, but then he said, "Oh, I kid you, pal. Yeah, I kid you, we all love you. And if I ever had a son, I'd want him to be just like Pat Boone, till he's about 3 years old." So how I got cast in this film, I mean, why I even thought of me doing it was a kick. Actually, I wasn't sure I could do it. And then while I was doing it, I wasn't comfortable doing it. I mean, I was really having to act against type because I really am a square.
Even though you made a heavy metal album? Come on.
Yes, I did, yeah.
Do you have Pat's heavy metal album?
No, I don't.
Well,
Why did I
I
have?
will, you shall have it. You shall have it. And also a follow-up to that was We Are Family, all the great rhythm and blues artists and the performers. For that matter, gosh, James Brown, I sang
Wow.
Papa's Got a Brand New Bag with James Brown. and with Can't Help Myself with the Four Tops, and Smokey Robinson, Tears of a Clown. I did a whole album of R&B songs, not just singing their songs as I had with the heavy metal songs, but singing them with the performers. And James Brown, when I met him, I had not even met him, and I had recorded his song, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. And I went to Augusta, it was not Augusta, it was Atlanta, so, Augusta, Georgia, with Eddie Brown, who had produced the album. And I got all of these artists to let me sing their songs with them in their arrangements. And I had not met James Brown, so I got there and got out of a car in front of his, I think he owned the whole office, the whole block. And had a studio there and a radio station, and he met me in a three-piece brown suit, shiny brown boots with brass tips, and I was just in blue jeans and t-shirt off the plane. And he walks out and we started to shake hands. Instead, knowing we were going to record together, we hugged. And I backed off. I said, man, he said, he asked me, what do you weigh? What do you weigh? I said, what do I weigh? I weigh 185. He said, that's what I weigh. I said, you don't weigh 185, Jane. Yeah, I do, but I'm tight. and I mean, we recorded together. And so these experiences people don't know about me, that I would do things, singing heavy metal with Ozzy Osbourne, not with him. But when he moved in next door to me, I had already recorded his song, Crazy Train.
Wait. Ozzy Osbourne was your neighbor?
Yeah. Next door neighbor, and I'd already done the whole album, but it was just coming out. In fact, you know, I went on the Dick Clark, the produced show, American Idol, and I had tattoos, and I was introduced as the future. Well, Alice Cooper was there, the future of heavy metal. And all of this thing that happened, it made it made front page news, sort of, and front lead item on the news programs. But I hadn't even met Ozzy yet, so now I walk out to the mailbox to get the mail, and here he comes shuffling. Well, I could shuffle without imitating him. And so he comes down, and I say, and through the gate, I say, hello, Ozzy, Pat Boone. Oh, hi, Pat, how are you? He says, I'm on my way to an AA meeting, and when I get back, we'll get together and have some tea, okay? And he was my neighbor for about a year until they started the Osbourne show. And then, to my amazement, I tuned in to see what the excitement was about. And I saw the show started, and my version of his song, they used as his theme song. So, I mean, these crazy things have happened in my career, but making this good movie, better than I realized, it was one of the ways.
Do you remember anything particular about the making of the film? I mean, it's confined to just a few locations. I mean, it's a fairly low budget film, really, but.
Yeah, I don't remember most of it, but you know what? I remember being at the beach, and I wasn't even in it, in that scene. Why was I at the beach?
Well, and that's the sand and the beach,
Yeah.
and the incredible detective work to think that the sand, the beach.
Everybody's favorite moment in the movie. On three, we're all going to look at each other and go,
But I was there.
But
Why?
But I don't think you were, he was at the beach. I don't know, but he had the sand in his shoes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, I can explain that to you, very simply, Barbara.
Yes.
It's the climax of the movie, and they are not gonna go back and shoot the reunion of mother and child at the house. So obviously, we're gonna put, Lisa in danger, like, any normal person would be like, you're not coming with me, but I gotta tell you, I don't know what you were thinking, Andy Paxton, but it's like, I'll just bring my wife along and you stay here while I climb up on the roof of this place.
You know
Although
what
I have to tell you, if the Spindrift Inn actually existed, I'd go there. That's my kind of place.
Yeah.
You know, that's as tacky as it gets, right? Cocktails, dancing,
Jeff Corey.
good food.
That was wonderful. Jeff Corey, great acting coach and actor himself, and I was one of his students, and so I'm sure he helped me on some, because I was not used to being a cad. You know, I wanted it to be real, of course, and I did. I was a jerk in the film, and I had to act it, and Jeff Corey was helpful in that.
For those of you who may not know, Jeff Corey, who played Joe Pyle in this movie, is really one of the legendary character actors and acting teachers in Hollywood. When he was blacklisted in the 1950s for a while, he taught acting out of his garage over here in Hollywood, and he taught everybody. He was Jack Nicholson's acting teacher, he was Dennis Hopper's acting teacher, Peter Fonda's acting teacher, and Pat Boone's acting teacher as well. You know, I mean, he is really a legend in the business. And your performance is really interesting because it's not just playing the caddish parts and being a louse. I mean, it's tough for a male actor to project fear and uncertainty. It's not an easy thing because the tendency is to
It's not just
overdo
big
it,
eyes.
you know.
Yeah.
And it was a really it was a subtle, really good performance.
I'm happy to hear you say that, because I saw it too. I saw it.
And Barbara, you're terrific. I mean, you know, the concern for the mother, for the child, it's a thankless role. It's what we call a thankless role, because you don't really have any other dimension to the character other than I want my baby back. That's kind of it.
I reacted to everyone else's.
Yes.
You know, that was the thing.
Yeah. And had you seen this film since you made it?
No. This is the first time. Wow.
I love that.
The first time I've ever seen it.
And
This is
I
the
never
first
saw it in
time.
the theater.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
First time.
fantastic.
But I have to explain, I don't really like to look at my work.
You
I
don't?
don't, no. No, I don't.
You gotta like what you see in the mirror.
Well,
Do you remember?
more than what you look like.
Well,
I-
sure.
you know.
Do you remember there was a show you did where you were like in a harem outfit?
That was a different character.
Yes, but you did watch that show.
Well, not really. I did maybe one or two of them, but I really, I'll tell you, it sounds corny, but most actors don't really like to see themselves on screen while they're doing it, you know, because you become too aware of what you're doing, and
Yeah.
you're not the character.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, because I would probably sit there and say, oh, why did that earring come off? You know, why are silly, unimportant things?
Would you be hypercritical of yourself? Is that it? Or you just don't want it to influence you in some way because you'd rather just do
No,
it?
I don't want it to influence me.
Yeah.
Actually,
I want to-
you don't want to be self-conscious.
And you want to hold the character. You want to keep it through the whole film. And it's not good if you're going down and watching the dailies, you know.
Yeah, they're right.
You get too self-conscious.
There are
You,
actors and actresses who've never seen their films. There are.
Yeah.
That just never did go see the films even if they were big hits. But I'm not one of them. If it was successful, I did want to see it.
You haven't told everybody that I was your first screen kiss.
No, I haven't, really, have I?
No.
No.
And not in this movie. It was
Because, you know, I didn't kiss Shirley Jones in the movie April Love. I did kiss Christine Carrere eventually, and Diane Baker is here tonight. And I kissed Diane Baker.
Not that Pat's keeping track of all these on-screen kisses.
Yeah, it just all of a sudden starts coming
But I
back
was
to me.
number one.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Shirley Jones never, well, actually, we did enact that kiss. I didn't kiss Shirley Jones in the movie April Love because it was my second film, and Bernadine, there was no love interest at all. That was the first movie, so now April Love, and there was no kiss in the script when I read it, and that's okay. I mean, I loved the part. I wanted to sing the songs, and so we're doing this scene in a Ferris wheel in Kentucky, and the song is ending, and Shirley Jones and I attracted our characters to each other. And as we were rehearsing, the director, Henry Levin, said, so now when that song ends, you're right this close, lean in and kiss Shirley Jones. And I said, on the lips? he said, yes. I said, that's not in the script, Henry. Well, you gotta kiss a leading lady, and it's not that I didn't want to, but I said, well, you know, this sounds so naive, but it was naive. Second movie only, and no screen kisses. And I said, I haven't talked to my wife, Shirley, about my kissing the leading lady in some films. I'd like to at least alert her that this may be about to happen. Could we do this later in the film? Because, you know, I just want to know if it's going to affect our relationship. I know this is naive. In fact, Shirley knew it was naive. But she said, look, you've got a 7-year movie deal. You're going to be doing a lot of movies. You're going to be doing some kisses. I know it. Just promise me one thing. I said, anything. What? You won't enjoy it. I said, I promise I won't enjoy it. I wrote that promise a few times.
But you have to explain to them. Our kiss
Mhm.
was on the top of a big destroyer. It was,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were way up high.
Yeah.
And guess who was down at the bottom there?
And we didn't know
Your
it.
wife and 3 daughters.
And we didn't know that they were surprising us on the set. And we were really getting at it.
Or not.
Well, when your actors want it to be real, you know, it can't always be because in one of my films, the actress that they could say, no, you keep putting your face over her face. You got to keep your, you know, those are things you have to worry about, and yet you want it to be real, and you can get over it.
You have to explain this, Barbara, just for the record.
Yeah.
You said we were up on the top of a destroyer.
Yes.
What's the context of this? What were you doing?
It was an LST, I think, not a destroyer, but it was a Navy ship down in San Diego. And yeah, we got into a stateroom on the ship, I think.
Yeah.
We wound up in the room, and we had but we were never, it was never X-rated. Never X-rated, but it was real.
It's better.
Yeah. The 2 of us up at the top of this big
Yeah.
ship,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're looking down,
Oh, that-
and the camera and the crew were in a boat, a little boat down below with the you know, the camera.
Yeah.
And as we watched, it slowly sank. It just went down
With the camera.
And with the camera and with a lot of film that they'd taken
Oh,
too.
oh.
You forgot that?
I did forget.
They
Yeah.
hated that director.
There's a whole lot I forgot.
We're gonna have to go out and like have a drink after this. I know you guys have all kinds of stories. I can tell. This is pretty good.
Well, one more kissing story.
Don't stop you, Pat.
Involving Aunt Margaret. And that was in, you see, that was the State Fair, wasn't it? And Margaret State Fair.
State Fair.
Yeah. I get the movies mixed up. But we did do a real good smooch in that film. Because I was playing this naive young country boy, and I was entranced with her, and I even got a ring I wanted in a motel room. And I was bare-chested in the motel room, and we shot it through the window into the motel where there was nothing, no hanky-panky, all-out hanky-panky going on.
All out.
I was going to say gorgeous. All out, yeah. But the kiss had to be real. And so I had not seen it until there was a screening in London, and the movie was being seen in London. Shirley and my daughter, about 5 or 6 years old, Jerry, was with us in the film. And when I saw this thing happening on the screen, and it really did look real with Anne Margaret there, and a real kisser, and I mean a real kiss, is what I'm trying to say. And so, but it was more, it looked like I was breaking my promise to Shirley not to enjoy it. Well, I'm acting, for Pete's sake. But there we are looking at it, and during that scene, my little girl just leaned over and said something to Shirley while the movie was going on, and I didn't know what it was. So now I don't know what Shirley's going to say to me after the film, so we wait till we get back to the hotel in London, and we put Jerry to bed, and then I asked Shirley, what was that Jerry whispered to you in that kissing scene? Shirley said, you're a very lucky man. She said, no, that's what Shirley said. She said, Jerry said, don't worry, Mommy, he's just acting. So my 5-year-old daughter got it. Well, Shirley let me off the hook.
Barbara, were we happy that we were able to hear Pat's reminiscences of all of his kissing on screen? That was not what I expected tonight in this interview, but that was pretty good.
But
Okay, we're gonna have to wind up very quickly, but I need to answer a question that I know a lot of people in the audience have, because I could hear the reaction when the restoration credits were presented, and it had Jello Biafra's name on the credits, a gift from Jello Biafra. So is in keeping with the Ozzy Osbourne theme of the evening, Jello Biafra, legendary lead singer of the punk band Dead Kennedys, has been he has been a fabulous supporter of the Film Noir Foundation from the very beginning. He gives annual gifts to the Film Noir Foundation,
Great.
but recently has upped that commitment and said, whatever you're doing next, I want to really commit a big donation to the restoration of the film. And I said, it's the Yellow Canary, starring Pat Boone and Barbara Eaton, and he said, great, I'm in, all the way, that's fabulous.
wow.
And so I just want to give a shout out to Jello.
Thank you.
And I want to give we send our prayers to Jello as well, because he recently had a stroke, and he is recovering very well. And I will text him after this and say we had a big success with this screening tonight, largely because you guys are here. Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, thank you.